Hey everybody, you're back with the tip of the week here at RSS Macklin. Today we're doing a hyper focus on the 121L Angelus Legacy Seamer and water ingress into it. This does not have to do with anything with a poor rebuild or misadjustments, but rather what are common scenarios, how we get water into this machine. The first one we're going to describe is anything above the 10 line. So if you're CIPing by hand with your machine, understand that from the rolls up, the seals are not designed to be able to take a high pressure direct impact. So this whole cover, if you're spraying it, you're going to ingress or take water in to the upper turret. From that point, we're going to talk about the V-ring. If the V-ring integrity, which is between the lower guard and the actual lower turret itself, if it begins to fail or it's not getting adequate grease, you're going to have a huge infiltration here for water. The next place that we like to look at is our lifters. So we have two things that can happen, whether through CIP and the acid starting to eat away at our slide bearings. That could be number one, where the mounting bolts aren't able to actually hold secure and you get vertical end play and water's able to bypass past the O-ring there directly beneath. The next piece is here on the top side of the lifter, which is our polypack seal. So you have an O-ring and then you have the actual seal that goes and houses it, and then you have a Teflon ring around it. When these start to fail, you can also ingress or see oil start kind of, well, exiting the machine and dripping down past the shield. From there, the most common for me to see is the intermediate discharge shaft. So not only do you have seals in here, but you also have bushings, and what can happen is either these seals begin to fail, the bushings begin to fail, or the shaft itself begins to fail. Typically, I like to see the discharge at least rebuilt about every 2 years because it's a weak point that takes in excessive amounts of water. And if you're seeing this, there's an easy indicator, and what we're going to do is look at our tray bond to understand what's going on or if we are getting extensive amounts of water. So now we're trying to determine, do we have a lot of water in our machine? What do we need to do? We've already discussed, what's happening over on the machine. But for me, the quickest and easiest check to determine if I have water in my machine is I'm going to go to my hydro scrub on my tray bond or on my whole panel here, and I'm going to look, am I getting over 60 pounds? So operational pounds is 40 to 60 PSI. When I start pushing past that, it tells me that I'm taking in too much water. If you're constantly changing out filters, this is another indicator. And then the final piece, I like to look at my tray bonds. You probably have more of a elongated one. This one's a little bit of an older style, but the principles are all the same. I'm going to look at the sight glass, and I'm going to see as it's filtering and it's running through its boost and through its normal, filtration, it's going to kick over as this drops down and fill it up. And if I'm starting to see a milky, chocolatey kind of oil, it's product, it's water, it's an infiltration of some manner. And it's the easiest indicator to say, hey, do we have a problem with our intermediate discharge shaft? Do we have an issue with our V-ring? Do we have an issue with our grease system? Do we have an issue with our lifters? Or are we having an issue with our slide bearings? Or better yet, are we spraying above the 10 line? Use this as your heartbeat. Look at your actual canister pressures and look to see if you're getting a milky residue here at your tray bond or at your infeed from your seamer's base. This, my friends, is the best indicator, and I hope you guys are doing well out there. And for the next tips and tricks, stay tuned till next week. Have a good day. Like and subscribe.